Hello, I'm Isi Edaghese, and I'm here today at the detail apartment, Sangotedo. I want to take a tour just to show you the level of progress done here. And I have the MD of the detail apartments somewhere within the estate. Let's see if we can catch up with him.
Hi.
Architect Olamidun.
How's it going?
I'm good, sir. Good to see you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It's good to have you here today.
Right, I'm happy that you're on site.
Yes.
I was just finishing with Engineer Joshua on some of the activities that we are taking on, at least for today.
All right.
Thank you, Engineer Joshua.
Thank you very much. So, we're here to see the progress on site, and let me say a big congratulations, because I'm seeing so much work being covered in such a short time. But before we get into the details of that,
yes,
I want to take us back a bit. Why the detail apartments and why Sangotedo?
Why the detail apartments?
Yes.
First and foremost, as an architect, I pride myself in delivering a lot of finesse to the structures that we design and that we build. And what we've also noticed is a lot of details are usually missing in construction. It's good enough that you build a house, but what are the peculiarities of the house? How does it function? And how does it enable the inhabitants live their best life within the spaces? And so we just knew that paying particular attention to details itself, there's always a difference between somebody who does a generalistic work and somebody who is very specific with the details. And so we just coined the name the details. And as an architect, that resonated with me. So that's why I have the detail apartments, right? So that's on one side to it. Why Sangotedo? Sangotedo is, I'll say, an emerging location. I'll say that's even emerged, because with the proximity to Lekki, which is fast opening up,
Yes.
you have a lot of commercial activities, you have a lot of industries being set up, down to fertilizer, down to refinery, so that has made people gravitate more in this direction in recent years. And because now it's a hub of activities, it's a hub of different kind of transactions, Sangotedo in itself, it has transformed from what it was as a little town to a beehive of activities, and property prices continue to appreciate in this access. So we are trying to come in very early, give our investors the best value for their money, and we have seen property prices appreciate so steeply in the past months. So Sangotedo right now is the place to be.
Okay, so I'm into real estate. I see a lot of houses.
Yes.
And one of the things that turns me off is the level of finishing. Usually very poor, a lot of compromises on finishing. But when I look at this, I can see where your headspace is. The level of work, the quality, and the attention to detail is quite commendable. But then again, I need to ask, how does this fit into the property market here in Sangotedo? When you look at it vis-a-vis other developments coming around, what makes this unique?
People are always looking for value for money, okay? It is about how much can my money appreciate over a period of time. If you are not willing to give clients value for money, which is how can their property from whatever amount it was at inception appreciate in value to this very sizable return that makes them happy for investing their hard-earned money. So for us, right, it was what location is emerging and what location has potential to scale very quickly in terms of returns. And for me, right, Sangotedo was the perfect location. Of course, we have the advantage of having the biggest mall in West Africa, ShopRite itself, as more or less like a reference point. So it's always easy to say our property is right behind ShopRite.
Yes.
And the effect of that alone, the multiplier effect of having something that substantial and how it has helped open up this entire access is why for us, we see it as an opportunity for subscribers who are able to key in early,
Yes.
to key in with a decent amount of money. At inception, the property started selling for 45 million naira. 45 million naira.
Wow.
To date, today, as we sell it now, for the very few units available and for the units that will be available in the secondary market, right now we sell at 82 million. So if you do the math, you are returning almost 100% to every investor.
Now, I need to interject here
Yes,
because 45 million,
45.
82.
82.
Time frame.
82 and appreciating.
And appreciating.
Okay, good.
Time frame.
Time frame, I would say we are in the about 19th month.
So in 19 months, this has gone from 45 million
yes.
to 82 and appreciating.
Yes.
Wow.
It's the beauty of real estate, right? Because it's a very secure asset class. And when done right, I know that's where our own, I would say, our specialty in ensuring that it's done the right way, the houses are designed right, because what people also are looking for is just what is enough. We could have done something more sizable here and tried to price it higher. But remember, what you're trying to target is what is a functional home, right? And that meets the needs of your particular target market in a manner that it can appreciate so much over time. So those were the indices that we're looking at, and then, but fortunately and also because of our skill set, we're able to plug into that, and we're seeing our investors now enjoy the benefits of their early investment.
I have another question. I have several questions. Several.
I'm all yours today. You caught me on site today, so I'm all yours.
Thank you very much. One of the big questions people have with a project of this magnitude is maintaining equal standard when it comes to quality across every unit.
Very correct.
How do you manage that?
Okay, so I'll start from the basics.
Okay.
Everything starts from the drawings, okay? And having a set of drawings that are very well detailed, comprehensive, and also very specific in nature. And then you also have to have the personnel that can interpret those drawings correctly. So over here, we place very high priority on the kind of people that form the team, the construction team, led by a certified engineer. Of course, I'm also a certified architect, ensuring that the operations, as regarding construction, the site instructions, and all the things that we delegate to artisanal heads, to vendors, are communicated in a manner that are very well understood. Then working with the right hands also in terms of the workers. And most of our workers who have come to understand the way we work over time, and they know that this particular thing, when you say A has to be A is followed. And then, of course, with the supervisory kind of expertise that we have in ensuring that all the works follow the specifications as designed, and we are also very consistent with the kind of materials, the quality of materials that we use. A lot of project planning also goes into it, because you can have the good hands, you can have the best materials, but if you're unable to plan your project properly, and this takes a lot of expertise, coupled with the training that we've received, as building professionals and our years of experience, because this is not something that you can just start to do in one day. So years of experience matter. So the combination of all these factors is the result that you see here, where every unit appears to be the same. And if I was to place you in a particular unit that has been finished, you can almost not know what unit you are once you are inside it. And that's because of the quality, the processes, and all the procedures that culminate up to that point.
So
give you that
if I hear you correctly, it means you don't sublet out to like subcontractors where one person is doing something different from the next person. You handle it all yourselves and make sure that there's quality control at every stage. Okay,
so the kind of model that we operate on is we are a construction company. We have different companies under the mother company itself. So the detail apartment itself, being the real estate brand of the company itself, has another construction company itself, Dramatic Atelier, that supports its vision. And because all the teams are integrated along these ranks, and coupled with the fact that we have a set of vendors that we very laboriously choose, because these are people who are ethical, these are people who know the practice itself, they are also been into it for years, and because we also have standards that they can't fall short of. So again, it's a combination of all these several factors that makes it possible.
I'm seeing that a lot of work has gone into this already, and it seems like we are close to completion. The big question then is, how soon can subscribers expect to move into their homes?
So the structures are up, and we have started focusing on finishing now. Which is tiling, the furniture works, and such and such and such. But with regard to the estate itself, what our plan is we want to be able to finish the entire blocks and their finishing in the next 4 months, thereabouts. And then we'll focus on the external works. And external works, I mean the water system, the sewage system, the paving, the playground. And funny enough, this is the playground, right? This is the entrance of the estate. So we have a very big playground over this area. We're going to have a basketball court. We're going to have more or less like a lawn where people can come, relax, and feel at ease every evening and things like that. So with regard to the external works, we project that before mid next year, we'll have this place ready for inhabitation.
Okay. So by mid next year,
Which
people
is
can
about
expect
June, July 2025.
people can expect to move into their
Yes,
homes.
yes, please.
All right. This is 2024.
Yes.
And when people look for houses these days, a lot of people, especially young families,
Yes.
seek a sense of community in their living spaces. So how is the detail apartment helping to foster that sense of unity?
I would say everything starts from design, right? No matter how well your intentions are, if they're not taken care of at design stage, then it may be difficult to foster the sense of community. For us here, with this particular estate that comprises 54 units, in the numbers alone, there's a community. But what really drives that engaging community where people see themselves as families?
Yes.
What we've done is that because our designs are terraces here, we have taken particular care not to introduce any kind of hardscape to partition or divide the units. What do I mean by hardscape?
I was going to catch you there.
So there's a term, softscape and hardscape, when you talk about landscaping. But in trying to partition and give everybody a sense of, so to speak, ownership of their units, we're not going to be using walls or dwarf fences like other estates do. And so to foster community, to foster interaction and neighborliness, we're going to be using things like hedges, plants to demarcate the units. Therefore, everybody has that sense of, identity. This is my own unit. This is my own space. But at the same time, it does not impede or come in the way of interaction, which is what drives community, right?
Yes.
And then another thing that we're doing again is we're providing, I showed you earlier, a playground there.
Yeah.
We could have done a building there and we could have gotten away with it. But it is about what brings people together.
Yes.
How are people able to interact? What kind of provision is made for children that in the evening they say, Daddy, Mommy, I want to go play. And then you feel safe enough to release them because you know it is well designed. Like I said, everything starts from design and then they can have fun. So we have a play area where kids can play, have a little bit of playground items. We're going to have a half-court basketball court. Then we've also thought about using a jogging trail. As you can see, we have an entire stretch of 400 meters from one end of the site to another end of the site. 400 meters is the length of an Olympic track. And so we want people to be able to jog and exercise in the morning. So we are providing a jogging trail along the entire length of the estate. So in the morning, you jog twice and you could do about 5 kilometers run.
Just within the estate?
Within the estate, safety and convenience is provided. Then we're also providing a gym just very near the playground as well, and also a mini mart. So even though we have a shop right here, we have our own little shop.
For those quick dashes.
Right, for those quick dashes, little groceries and things like that are needed in the house. So with the provision of all these things, we know we're going to have a very sustainable sense of community within the estate.
And that's wonderful.
Yes,
people get to know their neighbors and they get to form new connections.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Managing a project of this size comes with its own unique challenges, more so in these times. We've seen the way prices of materials, prices of everything has gone up. Are you in trouble?
Okay, first and foremost, challenges are a part of any project, yes. And honestly, these are very interesting times that we find ourselves in. Very, very interesting times. With the rate of inflation, the hike in materials and such, we've had situations where we've had to kind of like take a pause to just figure things out and say, where are we? And how do we continue to ensure delivery of the project itself? We have made lots of progress over the past months, and this is because we have continued to undertake a lot of value engineering. By value engineering, I mean reassessing your method of construction without any compromise to standard, without any compromise to quality. At the end of the day, what we deliver to our clients is assurance and a rest of mind that whatever it is that we have done here can stand the test of time. But it comes at a cost. And in some cases, we've also had to take a hit on our profits just because we don't want to compromise. And also because we also don't want to price the properties at a range whereby people don't enjoy good returns at the end of the day. Like I said, right now the properties are going for about 82, and that's even below market value. And so I have some people who will tell me, how are you managing it? I mean, you're selling at such prices and you're delivering well. Are you not making a loss? And the truth about it is that it is a cost, but it is a necessary function of what we have in mind as building a brand that people can trust, and also the guarantee of very substantial returns to our investors.
So basically, when it comes to this, how you've weathered the storm of inflation is cutting down on your profit and reevaluating your construction processes.
Yes.
How has that been?
From a business side,
Yes.
I would say it's been tough. From a technical side, it's been very interesting. Yes, and it's two sides of the same coin, so to speak, because as an architect and as a building professional, it is when my ingenuity with
Kicks in.
how to approach a challenge and how best to use materials. Perhaps sometimes challenges are good because things that you didn't know you're capable of, or the kind of innovation that comes from scarcity or maybe limitation of resources, you would never get that if there's an abundance. Okay, and so there are things that we've found out right now that we could achieve the same kind of quality, the same kind of standard at maybe slightly marginally higher cost, or even the same cost. In some cases, we've had to even say these things that we used to do are not so necessary, but is the objective met in the value delivery to customers? Once that is a yes, once that is a tick, then we have made our goal.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, what stage of construction are we at right now? And what are the next milestones your subscribers can look forward to, and when?
Okay, so we are roofing the last set of houses,
Okay.
in the new week. And we are now focusing mainly on interior finishing.
Okay.
So what people should expect right now is the plastering of the rest of the structures, roofing of the last set of houses, and then people should start expecting to get their units in another 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
So when these units are delivered to them, then they can expect to see external works. And external works will comprise the sewage system, the water works, and other things, the playground. Then we're also going to start our gatehouse too in another 2 or so months. So there's actually a lot to look forward to. There's a lot that we have to get done to ensure that this place is inhabitable by God's grace, July 2025.
We know security is a big deal when you're planning a living space. How is the detail apartment ensuring that there's a sense of security within this estate?
Okay, again, it starts from each of the units, okay? And that's when a family is in their home, do they feel secure first and foremost? And how we've addressed that is we have ensured that we have burglar bars in place that are impregnable. And by what I mean is we make sure that you don't have situations where a person from outside can get in. I mean, how many times have we seen a video where a burglar bar is fancifully
Pools,
designed, not even full, but the spaces are such that you can have your head in and then the whole body follows. But we are make sure that our burglar bars are very closely spaced, that doesn't happen. Then in terms of the estate in itself, we're going to have a very robust security network. First and foremost, we're installing CCTVs. And I'm sure as we walked around the site, even during the process of construction itself, we have strategically placed our CCTVs to constantly monitor how works are progressing on site. And the same way, the same way we've simulated it for construction, the same way we're simulating it for actual inhabitation, where you have a particular center where all these places are being monitored via CCTV, and then the residents at least feel assured that if anything does go wrong, at least it can be traced as to what went wrong. Then access control at both ends of the gates, because we have an entrance and an exit. We're going to ensure that those places are well manned, and then the security guys also have communication devices so that they can constantly talk to each other. Aside from that, we're also going to ensure that the fences are going to be barbed all through, either by using barbed wires or in some places using electric fencing. At every point in time, the fences are also going to be significantly raised so that while you're within the estate, you feel secure. And then those from outside who intend to visit will be made to access the estate via the use of the client app, which is basically generating codes, so that whoever it is that comes into the estate, the particular person who sent it can be tracked from the background as to this person sent, and so I give this particular person access. Then again, if anything happens, at least we can always trace it back to a particular
specific
place.
person. That's awesome.
Yes, please.
Now, the next thing I also want to look at, this is 2024, and people are eco-conscious.
Very correct.
Very eco-conscious.
Very
They're
correct.
interested in sustainability measures.
Yes, please.
What sustainability measures are in place here?
We love eco-friendliness in this estate, and from the get-go, what we did was it starts from design. And maybe I talk
You
about
keep going
design,
back to
design.
the design. Yeah.
And for me, it is the difference between a very well put together estate, for the risk of not using the word design. When you put something together, if it is thought out comprehensively from the onset, then you can achieve whatever goals. For us, it was very, very important that we stay off generator power. And of course, we know how epileptic even
Power generation.
Yeah. I mean, how many times has the grid collapsed in 1 month? Twice or 3 times. I mean, I've even lost count.
Yeah.
So what we have done is to ensure that every unit in this estate is provided with 2 solar panels.
Okay.
Why is that important? It's because we've also provided an inverter space in every unit. Unlike where you move into a home and then maybe
you have to put the inverter under the
staircase,
by
maybe
the
in some
area.
cases in the living room.
Yes.
I mean, but we have an inverter space that is specifically designed and that is also cabled right from the roof where the panels are installed to where you have inverter system. And we'll be going in shortly to see an example of such that will be for one of our customers.
Yeah.
So we give this inverter panels, the solar panels to our subscribers, and that is to trigger them to go green.
Yes.
And then that is less reliance on even the national grid itself and whatever generator system that eventually may be installed in the estate.
Okay, so before we go in, there's also another aspect I would like us to discuss, and that is what we have here are 3-bedroom with a BQ terrace.
Correct.
Now, if as a buyer, as a subscriber, I say, you know what, I don't really need the boys' quarter.
Right.
What alterations can you make? Probably adding that boys' quarter to the living space or to the dining area. Are those alterations possible at this stage of construction?
Yes, it's very, very possible. Again, I'll go back to design, forgive me. I mean, I've used the word design about 100 times.
No, you are allowed, because that is the beginning point. If you miss it there, you've missed it all through.
I'm allowed because I'm an architect and that's what I do. It's my bread and butter. But then again, seriously speaking, it is people who want their spaces as they want it can approach us and say, okay, I don't want a BQ. I mean, even the person who lives as a help is more or less part of the family.
Yes.
So why now kind of ostracize the person or seclude the person to a room? So we can actually have the house or the BQ itself connected directly into the building, or you can even have it knocked out. I mean, one of our units here, or 2 or so, of the units, the BQ was knocked out and we had an expanse of a living room and a dining put together with even a bar there. So it depends on what you as a client want. And because we are essentially architects at heart, it's easy for us to integrate that and then to give whatever it is that is desired.
So the project is at an advanced stage, it's almost completed, and I'm looking at a very beautiful interior here. The big question is, are you looking at any price increases anytime soon? Okay,
so right now we are selling at 82 with just a very few units left. And the truth of the matter is that a good number of investors are buying because they plan to resell when the estate is done. For me, I see prices hitting at least about 105, 110 million by the time we're done, which is about, say, June next year. And so the thing about it is, this is the best time to come into this particular investment, this particular estate. Right now, we are pricing at 82. This is November 1st, 2024. I envision that by about first week of January 2025, there will be another increase again. And so it's just best if people are watching the video and they want to key into the video, then it's best that they do so now. By the time we're done next year, it's going to be easily about 105, 110 million.
I have a very key question to ask, and that is, I noticed in the installment plans, we have 0 to 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months.
Correct.
I would have thought that at this stage, we'll be talking about a 24-month payment plan.
Most developers, let me just come in here, do not even do 24 months.
Yes, I know that.
At this stage of work.
Yes.
But also we understand that it is a product that a lot of people are in love with. I mean, how do you have people come in here and said they don't like what we've done?
Yes.
But in terms of fitting their budgets to the pricing itself, it may be a little bit tight to demand 12 months. And so because we notice that people like it, we are stretching, which is not something that we should do.
Yeah.
But that's why we have an 18-month plan and a 24-month plan. And all this, of course, are adjusted for inflation as well.
Okay, all right. That makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm seeing the end of these projects. June, July, May is just around the corner.
Correct.
What other projects, if any, are you looking at?
Yes.
Are you still looking at Sangotedo for any other projects, or are you going outside of Sangotedo?
Thank you very much. So we've seen how well this particular project has been received. The design, the construction, and the functionality of the spaces. Hardly has anybody come here who is a prospective buyer and has hated on it. No, rather we've seen absolute love for it. And so because there's a demand for it, we have thought to ourselves that why can't we replicate this somewhere else? Somewhere that is emerging, somewhere that can also return good value for investors if they key in early. And so we have identified a location. Matter of fact, we're going to start working on that location.
Oh, really?
It's in Elemoro, you know, which is also fast developing.
Yes.
Just like we discovered this place when it was in its early stages, we have a very beautiful location there, which we should even go and see. So why don't
let's go take a look at it.
All right, let's go.
So where are we and what are we looking at?
All right, so we're live here in Elemoro. Well, it is
Elemoro.
Elemoro, exactly.
Where is Elemoro?
Elemoro is further down from ShopRite, but about, I would say, a 15-minute drive.
From ShopRite?
From ShopRite,
so from Novari Mall.
So from Detail Apartments, where we're coming from, it's here about, say, 15 minutes from there. Now, the expressway has been done, you know, so there's never any traffic. It's an easy drive down.
All right.
So Elemoro now is positioned just beside the Area J Command. Matter of fact, we are neighbors with Area J Command, which makes the security of this place.
Area J Command, what's that?
The police station.
Okay.
Area J Command is the Area J Police Command.
Okay.
And that kind of oversees other police stations in the area here, in Lekki and also Etiosa.
Okay.
So Area J Command is just right next door. And then we have Lakwe Lakes, not too far from here. We're also neighbors with Adiba playing fields.
Okay.
So in terms of an emerging location, this is another emerging location, just like we're also able to spot ShopRite.
Okay.
So this is a location that kind of has the potential to return very, very high returns for investors who key in early. So over here, we are developing 18 units of 3-bedroom and a BQ terrace. And the reason why this so is that we noticed a very, very warm reception of investors that they had towards the terraces that we did in Monastery. And so we are repeating same over here. And then we've also started to see very, very little interest from people. And so for us, the same manner in which we met our Monastery property was something like this. We were just all surrounded by bush. But that made it possible for it to grow so much in value over a short period of time. And so when people see that you are doing a development, that is what attracts more development. And then people now start to think, oh, where was this all along?
Where are we standing and what's going on here?
Okay, thank you very much. So we have started one of the 3 blocks that form the 18 units, located in this particular estate, which we've called Asta 18, And we are right standing in the middle of, I would say, the foundation works. But usually when you start any building, you have to dig up, excavate. You have to do a blinding, which is what we are standing on at the moment. And then on the blinding, after those levels, the appropriate levels are taken, because it's very, very necessary to establish the right levels for your building above whatever possible flood levels that you would have in the environment. So we've taken that into cognizance, ensuring that just like we had in the Monastery project, we ensure that the levels here are significantly higher than the road levels. We don't want any flood. We don't want any issues for our homeowners, our investors. And so on this blinding, we're going to have a raft foundation. Of course, the soil test was done. And what was determined from the soil test is that for the kind of structure that we're doing here, we can actually employ a raft foundation. So you can see some of the rings that have been prepared on which we're now going to mount the raft cage. In another 1 or 2 days, you'll see a tremendous change, with what we have here. So right now, all these rings will be set up here. It will take about, say, 4 or 5 days of work. And then we're going to now couple all of the rings together with a steel frame formwork. Then we're going to invite the Lagos State Building Control Agency, which is very, very important, because we have obtained our approvals for the construction. So they have to be notified that we are ready to cast our ground beam. So they will come for what they call a stage certification.
Okay.
Stage certification is ensuring that we have complied with all extant laws regarding our development here and that all our materials are up to par.
Right.
I'll talk about the materials in a little bit, because of the stability of the structure, we're ensuring that even our foundation work receives the best quality materials. Here, we're going to employ the use of 10 mm reinforcement, 12 mm reinforcement, 20 mm reinforcement, and 25 mm reinforcement.
Wow.
You hear me well?
Yeah.
25 mm.
Yeah.
Now you may wonder, 25 mm, what are we doing here?
Exactly.
But we just want to ensure that the stability of the structure isn't compromised at all. So we
Okay.
go at any length to ensure the stability of our structure. So the 25 mm rod, by the time we're back again, probably in another few days, you'll get that, captured, and then we can show our prospective investors and homeowners just how much quality and just how much attention that we put towards, ensuring that the
So
structures are
I
well put
noticed
up.
that just like the Sangotedo project,
Yes.
you seem to put a lot of effort into molding your own blocks on site.
Oh, yes.
Why is that?
Oh, right, it's quality control. Okay, and because we have a certain grade of blocks that we must use, people do not know this, but even blocks have a certain load bearing capacity and must meet a minimum strength. Now, while there are a few number of vendors out there that mold blocks up to standard, but we've noticed that, with the rise in the prices of cement, a number of block vendors are starting to compromise.
Okay.
And so what we have done internally is to ensure that what we can control, we control. And for the safety of our own clients and our subscribers, we want to ensure all our blocks meet a certain minimum requirement. And because we can control that, we mold our own blocks and ensure the strength required for those blocks.
Okay, so I would like to get to price points, but before I do, one question before I get to that.
Yes.
Should subscribers expect the same quality
Yes.
that they got in Sangotedo
Yes.
right here at Asta 18?
I'll say, one of our hallmarks, right, is ensuring that we do not compromise standards. I mean, that's one thing that anybody can say of our projects. And because we're interested in building a legacy, anytime you think the detail apartments, just like the name says, detail, people should know that we do not cut any corners and we'll go right to ensuring that even the minutest of detail is done to the highest possible standards.
Okay.
So all that is obtainable at our monarchy project detail apartments there. We even want to set the bar, raise the bar a little bit higher. So you should expect what you see there, and you see some notches of improvement. Because there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, so
right?
basically, I walk into the detail apartments at Sangotedo.
Yes.
I walk into Asta 18 at Elemoro.
Yes.
And it's almost like there's no difference.
Our,
the only, like if you closed my eyes and
Yes.
took me
Yes.
from there and
Yes.
brought me
Yes.
into an apartment
all
here,
right, yes.
I would argue with you that no, I'm still in Sangotedo. I'm at details
So
apartment
that's the goal.
Sangotedo.
That's the goal. I told you something earlier on that because of how well our property was received there,
Yes.
in terms of function, in terms of space management, in terms of the quality, in terms of the finesse, right? The attention to detail. We're replicating the same thing here. Like I said, we've also started to see a lot of interest in this property. So our target now is whatever people see here and you step into this place, if you're not told that you're in this particular location, you may as well assume that you're in the monarchy location.
Wow.
Exactly.
Now I love that. So
Yeah.
let's talk pricing.
Okay. Pricing. The thing about it is that we are starting at a very low price point. So for about 68 million thereabouts, we have payment plans 6 to 24 months payment plan. But for about 68 million on a 6-month payment plan, you can get a unit here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And with a 5 million initial deposit on this location, you can key into it. Of course, we have adjusted our payment plans, for inflation, because as you spread for longer, we adjust it slightly, but this is the cheapest it will ever be. And guess what? Just like we had our prices appreciate so tremendously in monastery, we expect to see that same curve, because we have already modeled our construction, our project management, our value engineering skills, that in the face of very steep rises of prices, we are able to manage it and ensure that those who key in early see massive returns at the end of the day.
Final question. Who are the kind of people you would love to see keying into this project in terms of demographics?
Okay.
Young families,
Yes.
investors,
Yes.
older. What kind of people are you looking at?
Okay, so I would say the kind of homeowners that we expect, I would say it's within every age spectrum. So whether it be like an upperly mobile professional who just starts his own career, to a retiree who just wants to live a quiet life after retirement, the spaces are designed functionally. Again, it all comes back to design functionally, that everyone who lives in it feels at peace and at home with the property itself. Now, in terms of affordability, that's also very relative.
Yes.
So our target, right, when we are below market, so because we are selling at 68, we expect that that demography would fall around the lower middle class and above.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Thank you very much. I love that discussion. It was a lengthy one,
yes,
but it was well worth
I'll tell you
it.
what, please. I would like you to visit in another 3 weeks or so and see how things are developing here. Just to capture the level that we go in capturing details and ensuring the safety of the investment of our customers and also the appreciation of their investment.
Thank you very much.
It was nice having you.
Thank you very much, Architect Olamidun. It was great having this discussion.
A pleasure.
Thank you.
Shall we?
Yeah.